Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the McLaren P1 in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. I got a lot of comments on my previous video, how to go fast in Asphalt 9, of people asking how did I get this car. I will explain that in this video. So, my tuning is at 3 on top speed, 3 on acceleration, 3 on handling, and 3 on nitro. Now when I recorded these clips, I had no import parts on nitro. So that is why in the races, my rank is 25-65. So let's get right into the first race, which is on San Francisco against a Porsche 911 and 2 Vulcans. So I do believe the McLaren P1 is pretty much the king of multiplayer on Windows right now, because it is quite fast for its rank, and pretty much the other really fast cars that you'll see mostly in multiplayer are the Vulcans, which are actually slower around the same rank, I believe, and generally people don't even have them upgraded to the same rank. However, the Vulcans are the cars that give this car the most fight. As you can see in this race and other races throughout the video, they are still quite fast, and I do have to drive quite well to beat a lot of them, because a lot of the Vulcan drivers are very skilled. But overall, the P1 is still a better car. You know what's funny? I have the P1 even though I don't actually have the Vulcan yet. Yeah, that's a little weird. So the way I got the P1. So it was given out in club rewards and multiplayer rewards. I don't know how long ago, like maybe a couple weeks, and I was able to get 20 out of the 35 blueprints needed for it from those two things, multiplayer rewards and club rewards. Then I purchased 3 of the 10 times P1 card packs and managed to get 15 blueprints out of those. 20 plus 15 is 35, and thus I managed to get this car. So I hope that clears this up for some of you guys. So in this race, we beat somebody in the Ace team as well as somebody in Shadowfall, which I believe is one of the higher teams on Windows. Both of those Vulcans were over 2000 rank, although not up to my rank, because the thing is, the P1 starts at a higher rank than the Vulcan, and a 1-star P1 is better and faster than a 2-star Vulcan. Because a 2-star Vulcan is like 2400 or something, and a 1-star P1 is 25 something. In this race, we are facing an Exotic Rides W70, which is basically a LaFerrari copy. That's what it looks like. Now in this game, it is a pretty good car, and I did have quite a good fight with him in this race, and I believe I met him in another race later, and if it wasn't him, it was somebody else in the same car, very close to the same rank. So yeah, it's definitely a pretty good car. I don't have it because I don't have nearly enough blueprints for it, but yeah, hopefully I will be getting it and testing it at some point. And this brings up one of the smaller problems I guess I have with Asphalt 9. I do not really care for the blueprint system. While it's not as bad as the fuel system or the multiplayer matchmaking, I still personally don't really care for it. I like Asphalt 8's system better of just being able to save up your money and buy the cars you want. Now I understand that the blueprint system does allow you to save credits and tokens because you do not have to use them on purchasing cars, and you can use them more for upgrades, which is pretty good because upgrades in this game get a bit expensive. But yeah, I think I still would rather just be able to purchase them. So in this race, we beat somebody in the TWL team who was driving that Exotic Rides. Oh yeah, and before I forget to mention, all of the races in this video were recorded sequentially, 8 sequential races, nothing taken out. My journey up to 1700 rating in the P1. It's a very good car. In this race, we are facing an Aston Martin Vulcan at 2200 rank, and his car is orange just like me. Oh yeah, that brings up something else. I, for some reason, completely forgot to make this car purple before I recorded these races. I have no idea why, but I just kind of got the car and went out to the races. I guess I was a bit too excited to even check the color choices. Sorry about that. However, I have unlocked the Shelby GT350R, which you guys know is pretty much my favorite car ever, and I have made it purple because I have 2-starred it up, upgraded it to like whatever the max upgrades you can get to at 2 stars is, and put all the import parts on it that I could. That gives it a rank of 1810, and it does decently in multiplayer. I got up to Platinum League with it so far, and I have recorded some races with that, got in some races with some fellow Purple Team members, so yeah, that is a video that's coming fairly soon as well. One thing you need to make sure of when you're playing on this track, always take this upper route. Because the thing is, if you take the lower route, you see that place over there to the left on the map with all the curves? Yeah, that really slows you down a lot. And even if the top route may be ever so slightly longer, I don't know if it really is or not, but it almost seems that way. It is definitely faster, whether going from this direction or from the other direction. Now when you're going from the other direction, there's one place where you need to drop off to the bottom, but yeah, going in this direction, pretty much stay on top the whole time. And something else I'd like to say, apparently earlier today or yesterday, I don't remember quite when, but an update was released, a little hotfix you might say, for Asphalt 9 on Windows, which changed the physics a little bit and unfortunately made it so the cars were somehow slower? I don't know, but basically something happened such that you could not get the same lap times in the same car that you could before. You could get fairly close, but not quite, which means cups like the Turzo Cup, for example, people who get to it late will not be able to get as good of times as people who got to it earlier. So I do not know why they decided to do this change, however, apparently it will be rolling out to all the other platforms as well. I really hope it doesn't stay. Now, the thing is, I haven't personally seen any real big difference with it, but some other members of the community have. However, if it does come out on all platforms, at least it will be fair for everybody once it does come out everywhere. I just wish they would have left it the way it was. I recorded these races before the hotfix, by the way. And oh yeah, this is the final video that was recorded on my previous laptop. If you saw my Rizvani multiplayer video in Asphalt 8, you'll know that I've gotten a new laptop that I can actually record 1080p 60 FPS on. So yeah, all of my upcoming videos should be even higher quality, so you guys can look forward to that. And I just noticed something weird. This exact variant of this exact track has been played 3 out of 4 races so far in this video. What is the chance of that? In this race, we have beat 3 Vulcans, 2 of which are at 2100 something, and 1 of which is at 2200. I believe that's a 1-star Vulcan with some upgrades applied. This race is against Aranera and his Exotic Rides W70. This is a different player than the one I faced earlier. The other one was a TWL person. So, the Exotic Rides, as I said before, does seem to be quite good for its rank, and I really do hope to test it. However, since he is at 600 to 700 rank lower than my P1, he is slower, and thus I am able to pass him on that jump. So one thing I like to do in Asphalt 9 multiplayer, and you guys have probably seen this, is if I start fairly close to the back, I usually try to not use nitro at the beginning, just kind of wait for the people in front to battle it out, and then shoot past them later on the jumps. Now if I start in front, that's when I pretty much use nitro right away so I don't get knocked down, and yeah, so those are my 2 different playing styles, depending on if I get put in the front or the back. One thing that's really neat about Asphalt 9 is the moving parts on the cars during the races. You really don't notice it while you're driving, but you can see in this video now, my spoiler was up and it has now gone down, and that will happen on pretty much all cars that have spoilers throughout the races. See, it's gone up again now. I just think that's a really cool feature. Oh yeah, and speaking of moving car parts, apparently the BMW Z4, if you go into the garage, go look at the car in the view where you can look at it from all angles, and then tap on it, it will actually turn into a convertible. Like, you will see the moving parts forming it to be a convertible because it's a hardtop. So yeah, that is really cool. So we have now gotten up to 1689 rating, 3 races left in this video, and this current one here, I was a little bit surprised of how competitive this Nissan GTR actually was. He was at a rank of 2200, but he was still doing quite well, keeping up with me fairly closely throughout most of the race. I don't think that I was driving the best that I could have, but still, that's very impressive. By the way, guys, if you have not yet seen my How to Go Fast in Asphalt 9 video, you should definitely check that out, because it will help you know why I do certain things at certain times in my Asphalt 9 multiplayer videos, and hopefully it will help you to become a more successful driver as well. Again, I am taking the upper route here, and pretty much everybody knows that now, but yeah, those poor people that go down to the bottom, they don't do so well. So one thing that a couple people have commented on my videos is, how am I keeping up with both Asphalt 8 and Asphalt 9? Well, I will tell you now, it is extremely difficult, and because of Asphalt 9, I've had to spend many more tokens in Asphalt 8 events, like the Zenvo, for example, I've gotten behind on. I got behind on both the RX-8 SE and Fenner Super Sport R&Ds because of Asphalt 9 coming out. It's very difficult, guys, just so you know that. And speaking of Asphalt 8, there's a new update coming out to Asphalt 8 fairly soon, which I have figured out will be taking place in Romania. You see, Gameloft on their forums posted a picture of the McLaren 720S with a background with a castle. So what I did, I looked up countries with castles. I found the castle that looked kind of like it. I saw it was in Romania, so I looked up castles in Romania, and I found the exact one that was in the picture. It's called Corvin Castle. So very interesting. In this race, we have beat this 2200 GTR Nismo, although not by a lot, as you have seen. Alright, so this is probably one of the most intense duels I have ever had in Asphalt 8. It's against Phoenix Ron. If you're watching this, very good racing you. You're a very good driver. I figured out that the best route here is to not go up this ramp to the left, but to skip it and go around. You may think that's kind of weird, the other way is shorter. However, if you flat spin there, you kind of hit the wall and lose a bunch of speed. So yeah, it's better to do this, go up this barrel roll, get on top, and yeah, not fall off there. Because one time I fell off there and there's no place to go, and it just kind of says, you have left the track, and puts you back on top, like miles behind. So yes, definitely be careful when you do that. So when I started playing Asphalt 9, Rome was probably my least favorite track because it had so many different weird ways to go, and I really did not know how to deal with it. However, since that I've gotten to learn it, it's actually become one of my favorite tracks to do multiplayer on, because I've learned the ramps, where they go, how best to use the different kinds of nitro. That is really what learning the different tracks in Asphalt 9 is about, the ramps and the nitro. Here I land on Phoenix Ron and knock him down because I used Shockwave up that ramp and he didn't, and that gave me the speed boost I needed to catch up to him. You see, little things like that, just different kinds of nitro in different places, can really make a big difference in multiplayer races. And in case anybody is wondering, and I know quite a few people are, I will continue to be making Asphalt 8 videos and Asphalt 9 videos. I will try to make them in about equal amounts, so people who like Asphalt 8 and people who like Asphalt 9 and people who like both are satisfied. While I still do think that Asphalt 9 and Asphalt 8 are equally good games, I am personally having more fun in Asphalt 9 right now. So in this race, we have reached 1700 rating. However, we still have one more race left in the video, because it might be even more epic than that one was. So, in this race we are facing a 2420 Vulcan, which I believe is the closest ranked Vulcan to my P1 that I have seen. I have not yet seen any Vulcan at a higher rank because nobody has gotten enough blueprints for that. So to sum it all up, the P1 is pretty much king of multiplayer on Windows right now, and if you have gotten this car, it's pretty much the best thing that you can use, and if you have not gotten it, definitely try to get it. Buy those P1 packs if you are close, and of course if you have enough tokens, because yes, I spent 2,000 plus tokens to get this car, and it was worth it. And that's something else people have asked me, how in the world do you get all those tokens? Well, I was able to get a lot through events and through club rewards. Also, some people have been wondering, how did I get the Acura NSX so early? Well, it was a gift from Gameloft to do a couple of projects with, and if you have enough tokens, you guys should be able to get your hands on it sometime soon as well, because there are going to be events where you can win blueprints for the car. At least, that's how I think it's going to work. And it is the King of C-Class, even better than the Pininfarina H2, or however you pronounce that. So here, I drift around the corner, do Shockwave, and that is when I managed to get ahead of him. It is definitely best to take that route I did back there to go up on top of the building, then fall off, get the yellow nitro. That way you have the most nitro to take that turn the fastest you can and do the Shockwave after it. I always like to tell you guys about the different tricks and shortcuts and stuff that I find, because they really do make a big difference in multiplayer. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 9 and Asphalt 8 content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!